What do you think about this green fragrance craze? A lot of designer brands are coming out with flankers that have a green note. Well, in this video, I have got 10 inexpensive fragrances that all smell pretty dang good that have that green note as a significant feature. So we're going to dive into this list, but as we do, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Give the old like button a green thumb click if you like the video, and let me know down in the comments what is your favorite green cheapie that maybe we could go out and pick up ourselves. Okay, here we go. So first up, this one, I mean, green is in the name. It's one of the Banana Republic fragrances that I see at Burlington Coat Factory almost every time I go. $20 for this thing, and it's good and it's unique. Definitely recommend 78 Vintage Green. This stuff actually smells sort of like citrus and fresh cut grass. To me, it was handcrafted for the spring, maybe early summer as well. But citrus and green grass right here. It sounds weird, but the grassiness is done in kind of a sweet way. It's a very interesting, very good, very inexpensive fragrance. 78 Vintage Green. This next one is a clone of a very expensive fragrance by Bulgari. I'm talking about Tigar. Now, I haven't smelled the original. I've seen a lot online comparing different clones. This one is almost across the board thought very highly of, and it's inexpensive. I'm talking about Teroy Blue by Afnan. Now, Afnan makes some good fragrances, usually good performance, good value, good quality, and this one is no different. And what you're going to get with this one is a wonderful, sweet grapefruit bergamot, just a really nice, sweet citrus opening. But then you go on down into some green aromatics. So this is what I would call a green blue fragrance, and it's one that right now you can get for about $20 less than you could even 6 months ago. Teroy Blue by Afnan. All right, this next one, this is, I mean, the ultra cheapie and one that probably 90% of you have on your shelf, but I just sprayed this again recently. I'd kind of forgotten what it smelled like. I'm talking about Nautica Voyage. Do you remember this beauty? I think it's still the best-selling men's fragrance on Amazon. And what you get right in the opening is this beautiful green apple. And it's like biting into a green Granny Smith apple. And then you got a whole lot of freshness, but it's got a touch of sweetness. It's got a good bit of aquatic freshness, but it's got a very distinct greenness. I think this fragrance actually fits in now more than it did whenever it came out. Nautica Voyage. Okay, next, this one, man, I love this fragrance. I didn't love it a couple years ago. I didn't love the original whenever I first smelled it, but over the last year, I've worn it in different situations, different settings, and I get the hype over this DNA. This is a clone of Creed's Green Irish Tweed. This is a $20-ish clone, and it is excellent. Traino by Armaf. And this one has a kind of watery green, sort of a soft, sweet greenness right in the heart of the fragrance. It's sort of textured, almost like a velvety or a suede kind of texture. And then you've got, of course, lemon and lemon verbena in the opening. You've got some iris, you've got some ambroxan, you've got a little bit of woodiness. There's a lot going on in the fragrance. I always perceived it as very soapy for years and years, but as I started to give it a chance over the past year, yeah, this is a great fragrance, and that sweet green heart is what absolutely makes it. I'm going to wear the heck out of this one this spring and summer. Okay, next, this one is one that is beloved in the fragrance community. I don't know if average folk know much about this one, but this is just a gorgeous aromatic green floral fragrance with a good bit of citrus. This is, of course, John Varvatos Artisan Pure. And so you start out with green right off the top, sort of a tart greenness with some citrus. but then you go on down into those aromatics and some floral vibes. It's a very unique fragrance. I don't have a bunch of stuff that smells like this. It's very fresh and refreshing, and that green note really does its thing. John Varvatos Artisan Pure, and you can get this now for less than $40. And one that reminds me a lot of Artisan Pure, that you wouldn't think to look at them that they would be very similar, but this, to my nose, is like a sweetened version of a very similar DNA. They're not clones, they're not one-to-one, but very similarly, this one, it's all about this sweet green note. You've got some sweet aquatics, you've got some sweet citrus. This thing is amazing. I looked for this fragrance for probably a year and it was sold out, but now FragranceBuy.ca has it in stock. I'm talking about Amalfi Coast by Just Jack. This is a clone of Tom Ford's Mandarino di Amalfi, and man, sweet, fruity, green, aquatic goodness. Pick it up while you can. I have no idea if they're even still making it, but you can get it right now at Fragrance Buy. Okay, next, let's go with this one. This is a clone / twist on Parfums de Marly Sedley. I did a video about this fragrance maybe a year ago, and I couldn't believe it. I think is probably in my top 10 most viewed videos, I think. But man, it's so good. It is this burst of bright, fresh, refreshing citrus and mint. And the mintiness in this one, and then there's some other aromatics as you kind of go towards the base, but the mintiness in this one is gorgeous. This is Mahir Legacy by Lattafa. Everybody, I mean, you know, almost everybody loves this fragrance. It's another one that would be in the category of a blue fragrance, but specifically a blue fragrance with some green nuances in the opening and the mid. Once you head into the dry down, you've got some spiciness that's pretty surprising, and that's a whole nother issue. But as far as the greenness goes, right here, a twist on Sedley, Mahir Legacy by Lattafa. Fantastic pickup. Okay, this next one, I don't know if I've ever heard anyone call this a green fragrance, but to me, I'll tell you what I get. I get lemonade and green. That's what I get. Almost like there's vetiver in this. I think it's a musk that I'm smelling, but I would not be at all surprised if this has vetiver. As a matter of fact, I think it probably does, but I don't know for sure. This is Jimmy Choo Man Ice. It is a gorgeous kind of warm spring and summer gem. Very inexpensive. I got this for less than $20 for the this is a 1.7 ounce 50 ml bottle, and it's been compared to, I believe, Dior Homme Cologne. I don't know if that one has the greenness that this one does, but to me, I love this stuff. It just smells like lemonade with a green facet. You definitely get the muskiness, but there's something green as well. So right here, Jimmy Choo Man Ice lemonade with a little sprig of something green. Okay, next up, this is a clone of a now discontinued fragrance, a very beloved fragrance by Acqua di Gio. I'm talking about Profumo, their Parfum flanker, a very strong, dark, kind of incensey take on Acqua di Gio. And this one's a really good clone of Profumo. Profumo does have a green nuance in the opening and mid. I think this one even has a touch more of that greenness. This is one of my inspirations to do this video, as well as Amalfi Coast down there. But this one is Profumo, perhaps with a touch more greenness. I love it. I think this is like spring in a bottle right here. You can really wear it all year round though. So again, I don't even know if I told you what it is. This is Lattafa's Sucrate. And you can get this usually in that $25 to $30 range. Definitely worth it. And finally, my last clone in this video, my last cologne in this video, is a clone of Elysium by, of course, Roja Parfums. And this is one of many. You could add any of the decent Elysium clones here. This is Imperium by Fragrance World. And basically, Elysium is wonderful citrus and black currant, sort of this almost like a blackberry fruitiness from that black currant, and then just wonderful sweet citruses. I think it's bergamot and maybe some grapefruit. And then you go into a grassy green vetiver. And this one has got that grassy green vetiver on lock. Really good pickup. And for me, it performs pretty good. This is a 7-hour fragrance. It's more grassy green vetiver and leather and woodiness for the last 5 hours of the fragrance, but so is Elysium. So right here, Imperium by Fragrance World. So that's been 10, but I want to know about your favorite cheapie green fragrances, and what do you think about the whole kind of green craze that's going on right now? Remember to give a green thumb click to the like button and subscribe if you haven't done that. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.